Here's a little bit of advice to high school and college age guys in regards to women. So, male and female intersexual dynamics, the male and female timeline is a little bit different. In terms of how we're viewing the opposite sex, sexual market value, what's generally considered attractive. So, when it comes to the reason that we're all even here, which is sex and procreation, there's a way that men and women interact and the reasons that they make choices and think of certain things. So, in general, the woman is going to be looked to for the fertility, for the youth, the ability to bear a healthy child, and the guy is going to be looked to for providing financial resources, leader, alpha, all of those things combined. So, the male and female trajectory is a little bit different, and this is stuff that they don't teach in high school and college. Really, the most sexual education that you get in school is that 5th grade health class about penis goes into the vagina, and that's really all they mention. I mean, they go into a little bit more detail, but not really like in terms of like the day-to-day, just like how this works. You know, we'll study in biology class about other animals and other species, but we don't learn about our own, right? Because then like the conversation gets awkward, someone gets uncomfortable, someone gets offended, right? To even suggest too that as you're making more money, you can provide more for a woman, therefore you become more attractive. We wouldn't want to offend any of the poor guys, so don't say that, right? So we walk around some very obvious stuff, and I get it, you know, certain things, people are gonna get uncomfortable or get into their feelings about certain things based on their card in life and the hand that they were dealt. I'm sympathetic up to a certain point with that, but certain things at a certain age just are better to at least be open to, just so that you don't walk around completely blind. So like I'm saying in this video to high school and college age guys, that's a different time of your life than a guy that's age 30. So something like a guy at age 30, like I was talking about with the money thing, where people get offended if you suggest the importance of money because then the poor guy gets jealous. I understand that, you know, we're all given a certain hand in life, and cards are dealt a certain way. Sometimes people just get a little bit luckier than others. Sometimes people get a little bit more screwed over than others. But a guy at 30 should not be uncomfortable with a conversation like, hey, like, no woman wants to just sit in a cardboard box on the street. Like, you should at least be trying to get a job or having a job or making some money, right? Like, there's some things that you just kind of got to get over yourself, and you've got to stop saying like, oh, women are gold diggers, or because that's nonsense. There's more going on than that, and it's always a 50-50. There's always a balance. But my advice to these high school age and college age guys is that because the guy is going to be looked to for that provider, because the guy is going to be looked to for the financial resources, to be a leader, to be an alpha, you don't have to get all hung up on women in high school and college, even past college. You should never be too hung up on it in the entirety of your life. You need to have your own life and have everything else revolve around it. But particularly for high school and college age guys, where they're under all this conditioning right now of the parents wanting them to do a certain thing, or they want their report card to come back a certain way, get into this school, get this job, there's can be a lot of confusion and distraction with that. How are you doing?
How are you?
Good. I have adult tie-dyes and kids over here.
Cool. I have so much tie-dye. I'm looking at it. They're really nice.
Cool. Thank you.
I'm just like trying not to buy too much stuff, but I really like them.
For sure. I'll be here all day.
Okay, cool. I'll think about it.
Cool. But yeah, so the male timeline is so much different, to where a guy that's in high school and college, he doesn't need to get distracted with everything else to deal with. He doesn't have to feel like he's losing out on women, or, you know, why didn't his girl call him back, or why'd she leave for that guy, or whatever the case is. Men have to understand that it doesn't make women gold diggers. It doesn't make them sluts. There's a difference of what she's looking for, what he's looking for, and there's always a balance. There's always a 50-50. So fertility-wise, it makes more sense for a woman to have kids late teens and early 20s as opposed to later in life, and there's a natural biological clock for that. And there's a timing that makes more sense for a woman to have kids. So even if she doesn't choose to have kids, or she just has casual sex or whatever, there's a biological time period where certain things line up better. So these high school and college age guys, women their age, they're in that prime of being able to lock down the highest value guy that they're going to get, or their SMV, their sexual market value, in terms of just biological clock and spiritual path. The guy in high school and college, if he's living at home with his on his parents' money, or his parents send him to college, they pay for it. He's eating at the cafeteria with like the meal plan that his parents paid for. Goes back to a dorm, shares the dorm with another guy, or whatever the case may be. He's not established at anything, and he doesn't know what he wants to do. He's not as direct, or as a leader, or an alpha, or knowing himself very well. So the guy in high school and college, regardless of what he's doing, whether it's girlfriend or casual hookups or whatever, long term, he's just going to ascend with age if he's more on point with certain things and he embraces certain topics. So to guys out there, high school and college, don't slut shame women, and don't think they're gold diggers, but at the same time, take pride in yourself as a man. You don't have to just like go to high school, oh, I'm going to be nothing without a degree, and so you're following your parents and your school. You don't have to do that. You can barely pass high school, right? Just get through it. I'm not suggesting for people to take anything lazy or to not try, but don't feel like that there's nothing to do if you didn't get A's in school. Like, get through your high school, get through what you have to do, and you can start working the second you graduate. As an 18-year-old guy, regardless of whether you go to high school or college or whatever you want to do, start a business, be an entrepreneur, be a musician, get into an art or a craft or some kind of service. But you could start working right at 18, and you could save money, and you could put away a little bit of money. And because you're still young, and if you have a kosher family situation to stay at home, I definitely advise that. Don't get into the whole like keeping up with the Joneses of what you should be doing, or this is like the next upgrade in life, because we think that a lot of times too. Go to high school, go to college, and then, oh, I need to start looking for a mortgage or a house because I don't want to be like the guy in my mid-20s, late 20s at home. There's nothing wrong with being at home. If you have a kosher enough family situation to do so, stay at home and save that money, because as that 18-year-old guy, even if it's a minimum wage job and you have that minimum wage job from 18 through 30, you could save money at home for 12 years and you save up a lot of money. You don't feel like you're obligated to hang out with friends that just want to party and drink and not discuss goals. Don't feel like you're obligated to hang out with family that just doesn't want to hear what you're trying to do with your future. Don't get guilt tripped into this stuff. Or like the friend that's like wants to go see a movie or watch Netflix, but then like you don't want to because like you're working on something or you're tired from work, and now it's like, oh, someone's leaving the group behind or someone's trying to change. Like, don't get guilt tripped into that. Stay focused on your path as a man and know that you're going to ascend just if you're doing the work. But like I'm saying, it doesn't have to be a lot of money. You can be making minimum wage, but if you're doing it consistently, staying at home or paying cheap rent somewhere from 18 to 30, save it for 12 years. At that point, you could start your business, or you could start it while you're working that minimum wage job too. You work it Monday through Friday. You still want a day off. Instead of taking Saturday and Sunday, take one of the days. Take Sunday off and start working on your business on Saturday. Get it in motion, get it off the ground, because you might start at 18 and it might not be fully successful to the point of residual income coming in until you're 30. So there's a grind to it. But then at 30, you're still young with all that success. So don't think at 18 like, oh, this is going to be a long journey and this can be a long time to be successful. But that's you start then. You start at 18 so that you can become the 30-year-old that's successful. You don't waste your whole 20s and at 30 go, oh, I need to start now. And you can do that. It's never too late to start anything. You can start at 70. But regardless of when you start, it's still going to take time to get it in motion. So why not get something in motion younger if you have the knowledge, if you have somebody that's trying to teach you that, or an older guy trying to tell you what he's learned through the course of his life. So as that 18-year-old guy that works for 12 years, like I said, it could be minimum wage, but you've saved for 12 years, 18 to 30, living at home or paying cheap rent. You get a down payment on a house. Me, I'm in California, in San Diego. It's really expensive out here. So because it's expensive, what you could do if you're 18 in San Diego, use the expensive tourist city as the city that you're going to make your money, right? Because you're going to make a lot of money here because things are so expensive. So other tourists, you know, if you're a server at a restaurant, the restaurants are expensive, tipping, all that adds up. So if you're, everyone has a different situation, but I'm speaking for me. Live in San Diego, 18, and make your money in this expensive city where everything costs a lot. So that's where you're making your money. And then at 30, once you've saved those 12 years, just take your money to like a cheap real estate market compared to California. You do like Nevada, Montana, Alabama, wherever. I mean, it doesn't have to, I'm just saying like thought process of your life. You've saved all that money, now you got a down payment on like an awesome house with multiple rooms, 2-car garage, pool, and you've been building that business, you've been working on that residual income, you've been working on those assets, you've been working on your time freedom so that you're not just in the economy 24/7 just, you know, busting ass for somebody. You've put in your dues. So understanding that sometimes it's about the other guy succeeding. So as an 18-year-old guy, don't just look at the 30-year-old or the 40-year-old and, oh, that guy's rich and he has a Ferrari and he's on vacation. How come I'm not on vacation? Like I said, there's always a 50-50. And part of you going on vacation and living an awesome life is you got to be genuinely happy when the other guy gets a vacation once in a while. It's a 50-50, and that's where a lot of people mess up. And I'm speaking to guys specifically on this video because there's always that testosterone competition thing. Everybody wants things. We all want things. We all want to grow. We all want to evolve, whatever that means to us specifically. Here's where a lot of people mess up, though, is because they're not happy when the other guy's on vacation. They're like, oh, how come he's traveling? How come he has this amount of money? How come he lifted for 10 years and has like huge muscles in the gym? How come he has that nice car? How come he got a promotion? How come he has all these followers or subscribers? You got to get off of that, because how are you going to bring your own 50 to you, your own half, your 50-50, your karma, your yin and your yang? How are you going to attract that positivity back to you if you're never trying to see it in anybody else in any context? So that's why I'm really stressing this point on like the 18-year-old out of high school or the 22-year-old out of college. Embrace yourself as the employee. If that 50-year-old has a business and he needs somebody to work it, embrace the opportunity to get a job. With how hard it is sometimes out here and with how few people are actually willing to work and put in the time, embrace that job, build those connections, help his business grow, and then as you're coming up in the world, at some point you're gonna own something, and then the younger guys or even older guys, just other people will work on your thing because you've been working on other people's thing. That's just how the world works. There's a balance. As a guy, you will increase with age. You don't have the same fertility window like women do, regardless of whether you want kids or you want to just be a bachelor and do the casual thing, but you have time. So start young and see yourself building towards the future.